Thanks for being with us on MotoAmerica Live Plus. Michael Hill, I've made it from the paddock onto the grid. Just over my shoulder, Bryce Cornbow will start from the front row. He is in third position, middle of the front row of the grid. Jason Uribe, the joint championship leader. And then I thought we were going to get a chance to have a chat with Andrew Lee. We're not, because we're getting ready to go racing. So I've come over here to speak to Oscar, the orange cat, who is down on the front row of the grid. I can hear him purring frantically. He cannot wait for the start of this race. Are you excited? He is so excited. So am I. I've never interviewed a cat on the grid before, but now we have. We're breaking records. We're doing all things new. This is Stock 1000. It's an orange cat 1-2. Will it be at the end of the race? Jamie and Roger, I have no words. I'm going to go and make friends with this huge orange cat, who I'm going to call Oscar. Up to you in the commentary box. Ciao for now.
Thank you for that inside look at the grid here as we get ready for Stock 1000 at Road America. Welcome into the broadcast booth. I'm Jamie Howe, joined by Roger Hayden. We've already had one round of competition in the Stock 1000 category this season. It was two races, one of them by Andrew Lee, one of them by Jason Uribe. Bad news for the competition, Roger, is those two start 1-2 again this weekend.
Yeah, not only are they starting on the front row as well, I mean, they're over a second quicker than their competition. So the Orange Cat BMW crew has both of their riders riding really well, and they're going to be the ones to beat today.
You can see all of the activity out there on the grid area. In total, we do have 12 rows, 35 riders set to pull into the beams today. It's going to be a great race, just beautiful conditions, such a big difference in terms of weather from what we had for qualifying yesterday afternoon. Roger, as the riders get ready, take us around a lap here of this 4-mile circuit.
Yeah, and all the riders talk all weekend about how they love this track, and it's those long straightaways from turn 3 to turn 5 on that first lap. In the draft, you got to be careful not to get sucked in too deep. Then 6, 7, 8, all the way to the carousel, into the quick chicane. Long drag to Canada corner, and from there there's only a couple corners left through 13, which is a tricky off-camber corner, into a flat last corner that leads right onto the start-finish line.
It is a rider's favorite, certainly a fan favorite. The fans have come out here this weekend. Just take a look at all the bikes that are on the property. There has been a line of spectators waiting to get into the facility all morning long. And it's all for this, the first of 6 races that we will have here at Road America this afternoon. Stock 1000, 1000cc bikes. Roger, talk a lot about stretching the legs, the long straightaways here at Road America. What can fans expect from this battle?
Well, I think they're just going to see a lot of drafting, a lot of battles. It's harder to pull away at tracks like this, where the draft can give a rider a couple tenths here and there if he's a little bit behind somebody in front of him.
MotoAmerica Stock 1000 coverage is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series, and by MotoAmerica Live Plus. Stream over 100 races per season and much more. Available on mobile, PC, connected TV, Roku, or Apple TV.
Warm-up lap now underway for Stock 1000. We mentioned it is a full field here. Take a look at the starting grid, starting off with our pole sitter, Andrew Lee.
And then we got the Hondas there on the second row, JD Beach, Ashton Yates, and Rocco Landers.
Making the move up to Stock 1000 this season, going back to row 3, Caleb DeCaro, and a one-off will start off row number 3.
Jason Waters, strong year so far for him. They're starting on the 4th row.
Back to row 5, Corey Ventura. You got Eric Smith and then Christopher Durbin
And
with a solid result.
6, see Joseph Giannotto. He's had a great weekend so far as well.
Row 7, you got Crease Elliott there, starting in 19th.
Middle row 8, you got Anthony Norton.
Continuing on through the field, Stephen Shakespeare starting at 25th, always a fan favorite. Row 10, you got Trevor Watson right there in the middle. Going back to row 11, starting 31st, Dylan Yelton. You got Jordan Eubanks, who's had a couple of issues, still qualifying for the race today. And there are the teams. Worked so hard back in the paddock area, back in the race shops, getting everything ready to go for these riders to be able to safely get to their grid positions with the best opportunity to go for victory here. But they're going to have to get around those Orange Cat Racing teammates of Andrew Lee and Jason Uribe.
Big thing for these competitors is do not let Andrew Lee and Jason Uribe get a good start and pull away and work together and break that draft. You're going to have to take your shots on those two riders early and try to disrupt their rhythm and not let them get into those 2-minute 13 lap times.
Yeah, when we looked at qualifying results, and Andrew Lee, of course, our pole sitter, but it was so tight between himself and his teammate Jason Uribe in terms of lap time. It was just 0.08 of a second separating the two of them, but then you go back to third place, it's over 1.5 seconds is the gap. So to your point, Roger, cannot let those two get out ahead early on and work together. It is planned to be an 8-lap race here for race number 1 for Stock 1000. Very similar conditions to what we had in that qualifying session earlier this morning. So a lot of consistency, similar setups for the teams. They know exactly what to expect. Looks like everyone's made their way back around. Green flag waving at the tail end of the field. That means the lights can go up in the top left-hand corner of your screen. The lights are going to come on. Once they go off, we are underway here for race number 1 at MotoAmerica for Stock 1000. It looked like our pole sitter, Andrew Lee, able to get out ahead, but Jason Uribe, his teammate, right there alongside him.
Right there, and they're going to have a braking contest down into turn 1, but Andrew Lee's going to have the preferred line, able to release the brake around the outside.
JD Beach, for that number 95 Honda, looked like he had a pretty solid start as well.
Good start for Ashton Yates there too. They're in 4th, making sure that he gets in this draft early on. You see Andrew Lee already has his head down as they go down into turn 5. Got to be careful of the draft, not to come in here too deep in that first lap. See JD Beach making a move around Jason Uribe around the outside into turn 5.
Then Ashton Yates on that number 27 right there as well, slotting himself up into the top 4. So now we've got the Orange Cat Racing teammates. They have been separated by these Hondas. This is exactly what you said, Roger. You cannot let the two of them work together. You cannot let them work together and get out early. JD Beach looking to go for it. He's looking to make the, can he make the move around Andrew Lee? Andrew Lee holds on for now.
You can just see JD going to be a little bit aggressive with these guys early on, but you can see not making that pass. He lost a couple bike links as they go through the carousel.
This is where Andrew is so strong. You can already see the gap that he's been able to pull ahead of JD Beach. Jason Uribe, look how close he is to the tail end. Great start for that number 17, Bryce Cornwell. He did qualify on the front row, but he's able to stay right here in this top pack of 5, and then you start to see that gap to the rest of the field.
Out of that tight chicane, JD Beach did not get a very good drive. Looks like his bike wheelies a lot. Killed his drive, and Jason Uribe was able to draft right past him.
Still working lap 1 of this 8-lap race. To come across the stripe, you can see Andrew Lee continuing to lead Jason Uribe, having to fight for it, but he is right back there behind his teammate. These top 4 now starting to spread out just a little bit.
Bryce Cornwell there in 5th, starting to lose touch with this leading 4 right here on these opening laps.
You said it earlier, Roger, that a 1.5 second gap here at a 4-mile racetrack. It's just like a couple of tenths at one of the smaller circuits, but you look at how tight these riders are. That puts it into perspective just how tight they actually are. As JD Beach gets back around Jason Uribe. What did he learn that first lap?
That was impressive the way JD went in there that deep and was able to make the corner. I thought maybe he was going to blow the corner, and this is where he was setting up Andrew Lee the previous lap. Get a really good run through here, try to put himself down on the inside as they head into turn 8. Wasn't close enough this lap.
But this is the experience of JD Beach coming into the Stock 1000 category for this season. All of his superbike experience over the last couple of years. He knows exactly how to work these races, especially with the shorter distance, just 8 laps for the Stock 1000 race today.
This is where JD struggled a little bit last time. See when he comes out here, when he tries to get a good drive, his bike starts to wheelie a little bit, and he has to roll off. Look at Andrew Lee pulling away a couple bike links out of there.
See the team fingernail biting going on pit lane. Orange Cat Racing. Oh, yep, see? But Andrew Lee out front with the pressure of JD Beach behind him. You can see just how focused he is.
Yeah, and you can see these top two have actually started to pull away a little bit, about a second over third there. Jason Uribe, not sure if he made a mistake or not, but the top two guys starting to pull away.
Bryce Cornbow was able to close that gap back up and stay with that front group of four, now making it a group of five as now go into lap number 3. Jason Uribe is starting to fall back from JD Beach. The gap now to over just about a second between those two riders.
We've seen JD the previous couple laps get a really good run here out of turn 3 to make the move into turn 5. You can see he's trying to get in Andrew Lee's draft right now. So strong on the brakes down into turn 5. See if he tries to make a move for the lead.
The thing that's so impressive right now, too, if you look at these lap times at the bottom of your screen, we're in that 2:13 range, which is what we had in qualifying. Actually, though, for JD, in the case of JD Beach, he's using this draft to be able to get into those 2:13s. We were wondering if they'd be able to hold on the pace, that sort of qualifying pace through the race. We've now done 3 laps right there with that number. So great race pace here for Stock 1000. And then just the speed too, Roger. We're looking over at timing and scoring 183 miles an hour at the speed trap for Jason Uribe.
Jason's going to need to use that. You can see right now he's trying to close back that little gap that he lost between the top two guys, and through the chicane was able to close up a couple bike links.
If you've been coming to MotoAmerica races or watching along with us for the last couple of seasons, you'll maybe be familiar with the name Andrew Lee from years past, but after taking a 5-year hiatus, Andrew Lee able to come back out and put his full attention into the Stock 1000 championship again. See if he still had it. He said on our preview show earlier this weekend that over that span of time, he started to question himself a little bit. Could he still come out here and compete? The competition level continuing to rise over the last several seasons, but you take a look at what he's been able to do just in the opening few laps here today from the pole position. Look at that gap from himself back to second place, and then his teammate Jason Uribe looking to make that move around JD Beach. Looks like he got it done. Can he hold on to it? JD Beach has been able to make the move through the end of this first sector.
For Jason there, just using the strength of the BMW is its top speed to get by JD Beach on the brakes down into turn 1. Now it's going to be up to Jason. Can he close down to his teammate?
Great ride so far from Ashton Yates, able to stay onto the tail end of this group of 4. You see Bryce Cornbow in the number 17. That was at the back of the picture there, rounding out the top 5. Look at JD. This is where he's done it every time. Roger.
Just strong on the brakes. He did run a little bit wide there, but he was able to hold the spot. JD's just super strong on the brakes. That's where he's been making up most of his time. Through that first sector, though, Andrew Lee pulls out almost a half a second. JD and Jason kind of going back and forth, racing like that is exactly what Andrew Lee wants to see while he's out up front.
It's like Ashton Yates getting a little racier now with 5 laps to go in this 8-lap race. Can Ashton get around Jason Uribe? Giving each other just enough room. This battle between these 3 is doing nothing but taking the pressure off of Andrew Lee, who continues with his head down. This is for podium. Ashton Yates wants to find himself up there.
And Ashton's did a great job staying onto these 2 guys here to keep himself in that podium battle, and it's going to be tough for these guys as we see Jason going into the last corner. This is where he's got a really good run on JD the last couple laps and able to use the strength of that BMW to make the pass.
Here it comes again, the strength of that BMW across the stripe. Jason Uribe needs to stay right where he has been if he's going to be able to hold on to the second place result over these two Hondas who are working so well together. Just to be able to stay in this fight. Jason Uribe not close enough now to Andrew Lee to be able to pull his own draft.
And Andrew Lee right now is doing track record pace. The previous race record was a 2:13.5. He just did a 2:13.2 this morning. He did a 2:13.269, which was the outright record. So he is right there as this race is going on.
JD Beach is able to get back around Jason Uribe. It's just back and forth. Ashton Yates watching right in front of him. He's going to be able to pick up some pointers. He has seen now everywhere that JD Beach is able to make the move and make it stick on Jason Uribe. He's going to have to get just a little bit closer, though, if he's going to be able to do anything himself. Look at that gap that Andrew Lee now has over JD Beach.
See Jason a little bit, almost got into the back of JD through there. Both those riders got slowed down a lot for that chicane. That caught off guard there, how the closing speed to JD. This is going to be an impressive lap time from Andrew Lee, just looking at his split times. And you can see what it has done to the pack. It has definitely broke him away from this battle for second, third, and fourth.
The last lap by, the gap between Andrew Lee and second place at the time was Jason Uribe. It was 1.8 seconds, but the sector times that Andrew Lee has been able to put together, we'll see what he opens the gap to once they all cross the stripe. 2.1 seconds, a half a second advantage being given over just one lap for Andrew Lee. Now at a 2:13.253 outright track record now for Andrew Lee, breaking the track record that he set during qualifying on lap 5 of a race.
Talk about so much confidence with these riders and how you're able to carry that momentum, and man, Andrew Lee has been able to do that from the start of the year, coming in confident, able to keep carrying and getting better and getting stronger each race weekend. Comes JD again on the brakes into 5. Is he going to get it slowed down, though? No, it's going to run a little bit wide there. Jason's going to be able to make the move.
And Ashton Yates is right there. Is he able to pick up the pieces? Can he take advantage of that little mistake from JD Beach? It's given Jason Uribe the opportunity to pull out just enough. 3 laps to go, about 2.5 laps to go.
And now look at the lap Jason's on. He's did red first sector and second sector, so he's starting to close down on his teammate already.
You said it a couple laps ago that Andrew Lee had about a half-second advantage through that first sector of the racetrack, and even though Andrew's doing his personal best, Jason Uribe here in the second half of this race has really found some speed, and he's doing it all while holding off JD Beach.
It looks like Jason now has broke away from JD there, so he doesn't have to worry about defending any of these corners and letting JD pass. He can just do his normal racing lines.
Jason Uribe then closing in on Andrew Lee, and I've known Jason for a number of years, going back to his days in the British Championship on a 125. And if there's one thing I do know about Jason Uribe, Roger, as it gets a huge wobble towards the end of this lap, is he will not give in this one at all. If there's still an opportunity to win, he will take it. And I think you're absolutely right, Roger. He's got his head down. He's really pushing hard here. This one, I don't think is over just yet.
No, it certainly is not. Jason Uribe Now with a 2:12.945, a new track record for Jason Uribe. Unfortunately for him, he's still sitting in second place, nearly 2 seconds behind his teammate Andrew Lee, but just phenomenal pace here in the closing stages of this Stock 1000 race. This little wiggle too, Roger.
Just see how hard he's pushing. He's trying to close down his teammate. He's breaking the outright track record, but his teammate also there at a 2:13.1. So he's got to start making up a lot bigger chunk of time than just a couple tenths if he wants to chase his teammate down. And JD hasn't given up in this battle either.
No, JD knows that this is a big points-paying weekend. It's a shorter championship season, only 5 rounds, 10 races. That means that each point matters just a little bit more than some of the other longer seasons in the other categories. And for JD Beach, he made the move into Stock 1000. He wanted to be the best teammate that he could be for Hayden Gillim, who's competing in the Superbike ranks. And JD needs the points. He doesn't want to give it up. He cannot let these 2 Orange Cat Racing teammates continue to finish first and second.
Looks like Andrew Lee now starting to open it back up on his teammate with a lap and a half to go.
JD's looking. He's getting closer to Jason Uribe. After falling back the lap prior, you can see he's put his head down. Look how hard he's pushing.
You can see just trying to get a run out of that chicane there so he can get in the draft of that BMW to pull him up in the Canada corner.
Love listening to the sounds of the races. If you think about this being a 4-mile racetrack and what it takes to be able to get the microphones and the cameras, everything all the way around it. We have a tremendous broadcast partners, tremendous crew over in the TV compound with those Audio-Technica microphones. As the white flag flies, the gap is open to 2.1 seconds between Andrew Lee and Jason Uribe. Under braking, can JD Beach close in, take advantage on this final lap? He is certainly pushing to see if he can do it, but Jason Uribe, as of now, Roger, he's able to hold him off.
Yeah, we've seen JD. This is where he's made his move here. You see, he gets such a good run there out of turn 3, getting in the draft to Jason Uribe. Jason might stay to the left in the turn 5 to try to block that inside, where JD see what he goes to the inside, trying to block and make JD go the long way around. JD will try to square him up here if Jason runs wide, and he's able to do it.
He sat and waited patiently. You saw Jason Uribe put his head down there knowing this is the final lap of this race, and he just gave JD Beach everything he needed to be able to get around him. Does the BMW have enough power? Can he get back to him?
Jason has been really strong through this turn right here, turn 8, and then also the carousel. This next long right-hander, JD's kind of struggled a little bit through there, but JD's doing a great job now keeping his pace. Now can Ashton get himself on the podium? He's going to make a move here into the chicane maybe.
Jason Uribe cannot let that one mistake ruin the end of this race. He's been right there in podium contention all 8 laps. Here on the final lap, Ashton Yates did exactly what he needed to do to stay right there with him. Can he pull the toe? Can he get himself right up to the back end of Jason Uribe? One rider not worried about any of that is our leader, Andrew Lee. Look at the gap he has over second, third, and fourth.
Nice gap. He just has to keep it clean these last couple corners, but the battle for second and third is going to go down to the wire. See Jason pushing as hard as he can. He's going to try to get as close to JD as possible.
Here comes Andrew Lee. Already having won one race this season, our pole sitter taking home the victory here, race number 1, and it will be JD Beach finishing second. Jason Uribe able to hold off Andrew Yates to be able, or Ashton Yates, sorry, to be able to finish on that final step of the podium. But the battle continues back through the rest of the field. See the number 74, Gabriel Da Silva. There is the 97 of Rocco Landers, able to finish in 6th. Jason Waters inside of the top 10 as well. It's Caleb DeCarroll, this one-off race weekend with Top Pro Racing, able to be inside of the top 10 with Alex Arango, his teammate for the weekend, right there behind him. For Andrew Lee, our pole sitter, had his head down from the beginning, never looking back.
Also never making a mistake, getting quicker every lap. He didn't give those guys the opportunity to stay in his draft.
You look at his lap progression, his best lap coming there at towards the end, lap number 6 at 2:13.1, but of course, Jason Uribe with a 2:12, so impressive. Being able to dip into that 2:12 range here in Stock 1000. He'll be credited with the new track record. But it's Andrew Lee that's going to get to take that 5 extra points over second place.
MotoAmerica Stock 1000 coverage is brought to you by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. And by MotoAmerica Live Plus. Stream over 100 races per season and much more. Available on mobile, PC, connected TV, Roku, or Apple TV.
Fans here around Road America just got to enjoy a tremendous battle up front in the Stock 1000 category. Take a look back at some of the highlights, Roger.
Yeah, Andrew Lee from pole position, just able to get a really good start there, put himself where he wants to be in turn 1, able to release the brakes on his teammate, JD Beach, early on the Honda, able to make a move on the BMW. You can see Andrew Lee from the beginning of this race starting to break away. JD Beach, though, trying as hard as possible on the brakes in the turn 5. That's where he was making all of his moves. Jason Uribe also using the strength of the BMW as they head down into turn 1. But again, each lap, JD is able to stay just close enough to be able to make that pass on the brakes. You see Jason here. These two went back and forth. As they were going back and forth, Andrew Lee was just slowly pulling away. Race starts to wind down here. Last lap, Jason makes a move, but not able to get the BMW slowed down. And all while at the front, Andrew Lee just slowly chipping away. That's 2 wins on the season for Andrew Lee, and now he's going to have the points lead.
He now moves with a 9-point advantage over his teammate. See a celebration continuing around the racetrack.
It's a good race for JD Beach. He's been about a 2.5 seconds all weekend, and then closed that down to his best time compared to the Orange Cat guys was only a couple tenths.
Take a look at the full results here from race number 1. Andrew Lee with the race win. Of course, JD Beach, Jason Uribe rounding out the podium, but it was a solid performance for everyone here inside of the top 10. Ashton Yates with good 4th place points as well.
Rocco Landers there, 6th. Gabriel De Silva, that's a great ride for him. And Caleb DeCarroll, you mentioned him, one-off race there, 9th.
Oh, you can hear the bike starting to pull in to victory lane.
You wanted to lead that one. I know that was dumb. That was amazing. That's fun. I believe that.
Great to be able to pick up the behind-the-scenes conversation. They knew the team, they knew that he wanted to lead that race, wasn't able to do just that, but for Jason Uribe, solid race.
Just collecting those points. He wants to fight for that battle for the championship, and that's what he has to do. Of course, he's going to be a little disappointed with 3rd place, but as long as he finishes on that podium every weekend, as this season starts to wind down, he's going to have his name up there toward the top of the points.
All right, you got to hurry. Interviews are going to start right now, please. Thank you.
Sounds like Michael Hill might be down there getting ready. We can hear from our top 3 again. We do have a full afternoon of racing, 6 different categories here on the property this weekend. Stock 1000 being the first out to the racetrack. Let's go ahead and get down to Michael Hill.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie, down here with the all-smiling Andrew Lee, who lights to flag win. That's, I was going to say that looked easy, but sure it wasn't.
Yeah, definitely not easy. These boys are riding good, and I honestly can't the Orange Cat team has really just put their whole heart into this program, and the only reason Jay and I are here because of them. But more importantly, the fans that are here today, dude, yes. Thanks for coming out, everyone. You guys rock. Let's keep this thing going.
Got to ask you, towards the midpoint of the race, you won't have seen behind, but obviously Jason got pushed back into third position, came back into second. The gap came down to about 1.8 seconds. Were you just managing things, or were you getting a little bit concerned?
These bikes, these 1000s on the front straight are so fast, I can't even see pit boards, man. I'm just like, I was just riding my heart out the whole time. I thought everyone was on me, and I just kind of was winging it. So it was, I couldn't tell until the last lap, so.
Great job, obviously now the points leader. Andrew Lee, ladies and gents, our race winner. We're going to move across now to JD Beach, who was got one of his little fans here with him on the podium. JD, that was impressive in second place. Really good job.
Yeah, it was a tough ride. I knew I needed to make some Hayden Gillen passes, and I was just riding as hard as I could. And I mean, I just got to thank the whole team. At the end of last year, I had nothing. I didn't even know if I was going to keep racing, and Hayden wanted to put me on his bike, and it's oh man, it feels so good to get on the podium and to bring Stone up here. It's a great day. We still got another race today, and we got another race tomorrow, but we're gonna see what we can do with these Orange Cat boys. They're riding good, they're riding fast, and we'll just keep pushing.
Looks like this little fella wants my job. He's holding the microphone better than I am.
Maybe one day.
Good job today, buddy. JD Beach in second place. Let's move across then to Jason Uribe, who is still smiling after a valiant effort. We never saw what happened on the second or the third lap. I can only assume that you made some kind of mistake, but that was a valiant effort. I said in commentary, you weren't going to give up, you didn't give up, but in the end, it's third place today.
Yeah, honestly, again, just like Andrew said, I got to give it up to the whole Orange Cat BMW team. They've put their heart and soul into getting this program together, so super big shout out to them. Again, everybody, all the fans, everybody out here, thank you so much. And yeah, honestly, the first few laps, I kind of had a game plan in my head of how I wanted the race to play out. And honestly, as soon as JD came by, it kind of went out the window. And I mean, honestly, I don't got much more to say besides these guys are riding really, really good. And it just wasn't my day. So tomorrow's a new day. We'll get a new chance, and I'm pretty happy with the lap time that we threw down, so I'm going to try and focus on that and go from tomorrow.
Yeah, both you and Andrew, they're obviously breaking the lap record, part of this amazing team. As I said, you won't have seen, but I interviewed the Orange Cat on the grid as well. I've never interviewed a cat on the grid before, but what's it like being part of this team? Because there's so much support for you and Andrew this year.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, first and foremost, yeah, this bike is absolutely incredible, and it's just been absolutely crazy getting to know these guys and getting to ride with Andrew Lee again is a good friend of mine from way back. So it's super cool to be able to come together and just see what we can do with this bike.
Excellent stuff. Well, good job today. Ladies and gentlemen, our top three then: Andrew Lee, JD Beach, and Jason Uribe. Back to you guys upstairs.
Yeah, so there was a great battle up front for these top three finishers. Some work to do, though, Roger, for the rest of the field as we get ready for race number 2 for Stock 1000 tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for those riders there, JD and Jason, they were able to do the pace that Andrew Lee was able to do, but they cannot let him pull out to that couple seconds gap.
We're going to step away, take a quick break. We've got a lot more racing on hand for this afternoon. Stick with us here. We'll be back.